Here's another honest review from 3 days and tres noches. And this time we are in the beautiful Dominican Republic at Excellence El Carmen. And if you are new to our channel, 3 days and tres noches brings you honest resort reviews like this one, but also travel tips and information about the destinations that we go to and show you can have an amazing vacation in a really short amount of time. So hopefully you will like this video and keep following us and subscribe to our channel. So let's just get right into it, starting with getting there. So we flew into the Punta Cana Airport, and I do several videos about navigating this airport, along with what are the entry requirements for getting into the Dominican Republic that I will put in the description below. For airport transportation, I always arrange this ahead of time, and I do it through Viator.com, and they have a ton of different providers that they work with. They have the reviews visible so you can make sure that you are working with a reputable transportation company. I like them because they have a very easy to use app and website. You can also earn rewards. So the more you book with them, you earn rewards. We've been using it for years. You can book transportation, excursions, experiences, and they're actually affiliated with TripAdvisor, so it's a pretty well-known brand. And for airport transportation, I always pick providers that have 5 or 4.5 stars. I also like it because I can do a price comparison, and often it's book now and pay later. The resort also works with the transportation company, so you can check with them. And you can also join our Facebook group, and they always have great recommendations for the different transportation companies they use as well. The resort is just under an hour from the airport. That is, if there is no traffic, and there was absolutely no traffic that day. We arrived on a Sunday before noon. The airport was empty, the roads were empty, so it was a perfect time to travel. We chose a transportation service that was just basic, that did not include any welcome drinks, so we just grabbed some of our own at the end right before we got into the van, and then we were on our way.
I got my hands full. Don't worry, we're gonna do a magic trick in the car with these.
Oh, yeah?
Just wait.
Before we get to the check-in, everybody always asks me, how much did we pay and how did we book the resort? So we went in mid-November, which is a slower season. So we got a really good rate of around $500 per night for 2 people. And we booked it through the Good Life Travel Company, who are now our travel partners. But remember, the price per night can fluctuate greatly depending on time of year and room category.
Made it. Now it's time to check in. Weather's amazing here. They're gonna take our bags and save them for us while we check in, so let's check it out.
First impressions are everything, and the first impression of this resort was amazing. They took our bags, they tagged them, they greeted us with champagne, which was amazing, but the actual check-in process took quite a while, let's say 30 or 40 minutes, but it's only because we asked for an upgrade. Now, I had wanted to upgrade before we arrived, but there was nothing available. So Isaac, who was taking care of us, was amazing, had to go back and forth with his manager quite a lot before finding 2 rooms that he could give us that were upgraded. Now, one tip is to bring cash, because if they don't have to run the credit card and incur those credit card fees, sometimes they can give you a little bit more of a discount. Got there pretty early, so our room was not ready yet, but we were allowed to change in the spa area. So I really did like that. The spa is located literally right in the lobby, so you don't have to walk far. And they have a nice little changing area, even a shower, so that you can change. Excellence has an amazing app, so make sure you download it onto your phone. You can even do it before you arrive, and that way you can look at the entertainment and the restaurants, and then during your stay, you're going to use it for almost everything. Our room was in building 1, which I actually really liked. We still had a great view. We were close to the lobby within walking distance to everything. Ideally, of course, I would have loved to have been oceanfront, but those rooms can book like a year in advance, and you can only get them if you upgrade to the club level. So now let's go check out our room.
Finally got in our room, so we arrived around, I think like maybe 12:30 or 1, and check-in is at 3, and so it took about maybe like 3:15, 3:30, but we finally got in our room, and I can't wait to show you it because it is amazing. We did upgrade to the club level, so I waited till I got here because there was no availability when I kept checking, but there was when we got here. So this is the oceanfront plunge pool suite. Are you ready for it? Let's go. Okay, first, before you come in, they have the room suite valet where you can put your dirty dishes, which I know so many people like. First thing, they have the double sinks. which we love. They don't have the separation, which is always a pet peeve of mine. It's no big deal, but you know, like they have like this thing where you can see through. They provide Bugatti, which is very high-end toiletries. They have the separate toilet, which you know is always a must. They have the separate toilet from the shower. Some of the reviews did mention wear and tear. I haven't seen that yet in this room. So far it looks very nice and updated. The shower, French doors to a shower. Okay, I don't know if we've ever had that before. That's pretty cool. Has the rainfall shower. It looks good. What is here? Oh my God, it has 2 toilets. I've never seen that at a resort, right? That's amazing. So 2 toilets, rainfall shower, double sink. So bathroom's amazing. It has a full-length mirror, which is important when you are, you know, getting ready. And then let's go into the closet. Okay, closet space is pretty good. Not the biggest I've seen, but plenty of space. They have a ton of shelves. They give you the bag, the beach bag, so you don't need to pack this, which is great. And they don't have an iron. Oops, but they have a steamer. I've read if you really want an iron and you ask for it, they will bring it for you. So they have the safe. I mean, literally pretty much all the space that you probably would need. They have a nice big king size bed and the TV, if you like to watch TV, right there. A lot of resorts that we go to, the TV is in a weird space. I'm not a TV watcher, so it's not important to me. But the fact that it's right here, right? A lot of people love that. And they have plenty of USBs and plugs on the nightstands, which is really important. What's that noise?
Right here in the middle of the room tour, we received a phone call, and it was Isaac who was actually following up to see how we liked the room to make sure we were happy. So again, very impressed with Isaac's service.
So I love how open the space is. So we have an amazing full king size bed that opens up to a space where you can sit down. There's so much natural light, the windows, which makes such a difference. We are in a club level, so we get 4 full bottles of alcohol that's included, an espresso machine. We can have coffee in the morning, and this is just more storage. We have a mini fridge. Woohoo! Full of what you need, and I know if we want something special, he said just let us know. They're going to stock it with whatever that we want. Beautiful sitting area. But look, champagne waiting. Always a nice touch when you have champagne waiting. It feels very clean. It doesn't feel dated. I know some of the reviews said that it was showing wear and tear. I haven't seen that yet. So far, beautiful. Wait to see the outside, okay? This is where it gets amazing. And there's another TV. So if you want to sit here, if you're a TV watcher, again, I'm not, you can sit there and watch TV. Oh my God. Okay, I mean, come on. Gorgeous. Here, an area where you could have room service. So room service is included in your stay 24/7. A bally bed. So if you just want to be in your room resting, there's a huge comfortable bally bed. A jetted tub that is glass enclosed that you enter from the inside and you have this amazing view, so you could be taking a freaking bath while watching this view. And here is a plunge pool. Not a big swim up suite person, so I like the private pool because I can get in and dip. It's actually warm, doesn't feel cold, so it's going to be refreshing without being too cold. And then there's another bally bed that you can just sit here and take in the view.
The only small issues that I had in the room was while the outdoor area was clean when we arrived, I don't think they really cleaned it during our stay. I'm sure they would have if we would requested it. So the pool did get a little dirty, and I probably would not do a plunge pool again because I really didn't use it that much. It's pretty small, and the privacy out in the balcony is just separated by these little glass separations. So if someone is outside in the balcony, you can hear them. Inside, I know I already mentioned this, but the lack of privacy between the bathroom and the bedroom area, the fact that they are right behind each other, if someone gets up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, they have to turn on the lights, which wakes up the other person, and you can literally hear everything that's going on in the bathroom. Enough with the room, let's get on to the pools. And if you are new here, I give very detailed reviews. So just stick with me, I promise it's worth it. I'm giving the pools a 7 out of 10, which I know is a pretty low rating. So I'm going to tell you why. Now, I really prefer sitting on the beach, but I also know what people look for in pools. And I think the first issue is that there were no separate pools for the club level. So if you were upgrading to the club and you don't have your own swim out, there's not a separate pool like there is at Excellence Playa Mujeres. While the main pools seem to have a ton of seating and poolside service, the water temperature was hot, almost like a hot tub. So for me, it was actually uncomfortable, and it also felt a little dirty because it was so hot. I don't know if that was just in my mind or whatever, but I know some people really like heated pools. Now, right next door, they did have kind of like a lap lane lounge pool that was much more refreshing. Did have a lot of activities around the pool. They had water aerobics, we heard the DJ. So they definitely did a good job with that, but just the pool itself was hot. Now, I did find 2 hidden pools in the back of this resort. So this resort was a lot bigger than I thought. Even though I loved how walkable it was very easy to navigate. Towards the back in the non-club level, they have 2 very quiet pools. They're just lounge pools, but you could go there too if you're looking for something a little bit more refreshing and relaxing. Let's hit the beach, my favorite part. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now, when I booked this resort, I already knew that I was going to be in the Uvero Alto region, where the sand was brown and the water was not as turquoise as the Bávaro beaches, where they have the white sand and that really beautiful blue turquoise water. So even though the beach was beautiful and the water temperature was to die for, it was perfect, it was so warm and definitely swimmable, I prefer the white sand beaches and blue water in Bávaro, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have a beautiful beach experience here. Love that they had a ton of seating, so you did not have to get up early to save seats. I know that's a huge pet peeve of many people, and we had upgraded to the club level, which in another video I'm going to talk about whether or not you should upgrade or not. But both sides, they had plenty of seating and they had service on both sides. So it was really a nice experience. It's actually where I spent most of my time. One downside was the beach vendors. Now, usually I don't mind beach vendors. I know they are just trying to make a living. And in fact, I like to purchase things from them as well to support them. But this felt nonstop. So every, I want to say at least 10 or 15 minutes, that's what it felt like. Someone was coming around and they wouldn't even mind interrupting you if you were trying to relax. Now, it just took a simple no gracias and they kept going, but it definitely was an interruption in the experience. Now, this is where those ocean-front swim-up suites are amazing because they are literally right next to the ocean. Again, I know they're very hard to get, but you could lay out there, listen to the ocean, see the ocean, but the vendors can't come up there. And then if you wanted to go take a swim in the ocean, it's right there. And then you also have your little pool right next to you. One thing I loved was that just about a 5 or 10 minute walk down the beach was this little hut called Tropical Treasures. It had a ton of cute clothing and souvenir items, and you could get massages on the beach for like $25 to $45. I didn't get a massage, but our friends did, and they said it was amazing. They were sitting there listening to the ocean while they were getting their massage. So it was definitely worth it. And it was only, again, like $25 for 30 minutes. Time for some food and drinks, and I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Now, I really find the food and drinks always hard to rate because everyone has so many different preferences. But for an all-inclusive resort, an 8 out of 10 is a very good rating because there's so many different restaurants and options and factors that go into the food experience. And I feel like everyone's standard of food is really so different. It's all over the place. In fact, I met a young couple who was on their honeymoon and they said they did not like the food at all. Then I met another couple who absolutely loved it, said it was the best food that they've ever had. And I have to say, this seems to be the case at every all-inclusive resort that I go to. So here at Excellence El Carmen, I'm comparing it to other Punta Cana resorts that I've been to, and it's definitely among the best. Definitely better than Majestic, and I would say equal to Sanctuary Cap Cana, and better than Royalton and Iberostar. And we were only there for 3 nights, so I really didn't get a chance to experience all of the dining options. But I will tell you what the pros and cons were for me. Starting with the positives. I love that they had so many different options, especially for the size of the resort. And again, that app is amazing because it has all of the menus on there. And you can look ahead of time and even pick out your dishes before you arrive. I loved the food truck option. I just tend to be a grab and go kind of girl when it comes to food. So I loved having that option. I don't think I've had that before at an adults only all-inclusive resort. I love that they had a separate coffee shop. And I have to say the best meals that I had were one at the grill, which is located in the lobby. It does lack a little bit of ambience. They did have some outdoor seating, which we did on the first night, but the food was amazing. In fact, the chef came out and talked to us, so I love that experience. And then Lobster House, we ate lunch at. It was a little bit slow, the service, because it was really crowded, but the food was really good. We did upgrade, so we took advantage of being able to eat at Magna, which is the club level restaurant, which is open for breakfast and dinner. So our friends tried it for breakfast and absolutely loved it. And then the dinner definitely lived up to its expectations with food quality and service. And then the last night we ate at the Asian restaurant, which is not my favorite type of food, but again, they did a great job with service, and our friends who love Asian food said it was amazing, and I did enjoy my dish as well.
So far, we are at the grill at Excellence El Carmen, and we are loving our dishes. I have a skewer here, a chicken skewer. So if you're someone like me that's kind of like, you know, you want to indulge a little bit but stay semi-healthy on vacation. So far, the grill, I love it. And the service. Leandro is our mesero, and the service is amazing.
Now for some of the cons. One is you cannot make reservations at restaurants unless you are in the club level and going to Magna. And for me, I just find that really inconvenient because you never know how long you have to wait. Not the biggest deal in the world. Also, some of the restaurants were closed. So for instance, Oregano, which is one of the ones I really wanted to try, was closed both nights that we wanted to go. And it really never crossed my mind to check the app to see which restaurants were going to be open or closed. The other downside for me was it did not have a full lunch buffet. And yes, I know it's considered a luxury resort, and luxury resorts usually don't have lunch buffets, but it's just something that I prefer. Now, they did have Las Olas, which is right on the beach, so it's beautiful surroundings. It does get a little bit windy, but it's kind of small, and it really felt more like snack food. They do have wood fire pizzas, however, which was pretty good. I did get room service a few times, and it's very typical for an all-inclusive resort. I would say it's about average, and you do get room service included 24/7 with your stay, whether you upgrade or not. I will have to say that it definitely seemed to arrive a lot quicker than other resorts I've been to, and maybe it's because we were located near the lobby. For the drinks, they really do have a ton of different bars that you can go to, lots of different drinks and drink options. And even if you don't upgrade, you have a pretty good selection of different top shelf liquors. Now, if you upgrade to the Excellence Club, you get access to the club level bar, which has a much better selection of top shelf liquors. So that's where we got most of our drinks. And crazy story was the bartender there was Eloy. And if you've watched our other video on Sanctuary, he was our bartender at Sanctuary. So it was amazing to be able to see him again. I'm going to do a whole separate video about that because it was really kind of crazy. So we did spend a lot of time in the club lounge because he's an excellent bartender, and they just had a much better selection of top shelf liquors in general. I promise you I'm almost done. I told you I give a ton of detail, and yet I still feel like I leave things out. So if you do have additional questions, just drop them in the comment section below because I do respond to all comments and questions. Final thing I want to talk about is the activities and nightlife, and I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. So if you follow me, you know I like to have a good time, and I look for resorts that have great nightlife, and many resorts fall short on this, but I feel like the Excellence brand does such a great job. Let's start with daytime activities. Again, on that app, they list every single thing that's going on through the day, and it starts at sometimes 8 a.m. with yoga or some type of fitness class, and every hour they have something going on. I also love that they had water sports included. So non-motorized water sports. You could do a kayak, those little sailboats. I really actually wanted to go out in one, but it was too windy every time I wanted to go. Then it just continues into the evening. So they have early evening activities for people that don't want to stay up late, and they have late night activities as well, which I participated in all of them. So the first night they had a silent disco, which was really fun. And then the second night they had a disco night. And then the last night was karaoke, which was my favorite. They also have a club that is open. So we only went there the first night, I think, because we just had so much going on and we had to get up early one morning for an excursion. But overall, they hit it out of the park with the nightlife. And they also have a full service spa. Now, we did hydrotherapy, which was included with the upgrade. I think it's included with most services as well. Otherwise, it's $50 a person, but I definitely recommend it. I always wait to do the hydrotherapy the morning before I leave. Just helps detox the food, the alcohol, gets you ready and feeling great for your trip home. If you want to go off the resort and do an excursion, they do have an in-house excursion company that can help you plan that. We booked ours through, of course, Viator. It's one of our partners, but that's what I always use to book all of our excursions. And this one we did was one of my favorites that I've ever done. So I'm going to do a complete separate video about it. I will put the link to book it in the description as well. Would I return to this resort? Well, while I loved Excellence El Carmen and it did check off a lot of boxes that I love about an all-inclusive resort, I personally would not return for one reason, and that's because of the beach. If you follow me, the beach is a priority. And while it was beautiful and the temperature of the water was amazing, you could swim in it all day, I just prefer the beaches in Bavaro and Cap Cana. Now, I knew that going into it. I had done my research. I knew it was in the Uvera Alto region, but I really wanted to try an Excellence brand in Punta Cana because I love the one so much in Playa Mujeres, Mexico. That being said, I definitely preferred the one a little bit more in Playa Mujeres. I felt the service was a little bit better, which is kind of the norm when you're comparing Mexico and Dominican. Dominican has island vibes, and it's not that it's not friendly, it's just much slower and it's much more relaxed. Originally, I was booked for Excellence Punta Cana, but I changed at the last minute to El Carmen because they definitely had better room category availability and better availability in general. But both of those resorts book up quickly and in advance. Now, I know there's a debate about which one's better. So if you've been to both, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And just if you've been to Excellence El Carmen, let us know your thoughts. And if you have any more questions about Excellence El Carmen, you can also drop those in the comments section. And keep following us at 3 Days and Tres Noches. We bring you honest resort reviews like this one, travel tips and information about the destinations that we go to. In fact, we're getting ready to go back to Cancun, so we're really excited. And now we can even help you book travel. So all of that information will be in the description below, and you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.